Let's do it. Good morning, everyone. Today, we've got the pleasure to introduce to you Kartiwan Johanes, Director of Business Application PT Metrodata Electronic. Metrodata is one of the largest SIs and ICT distributors with more than 70 partnership brands in Indonesia. Metrodata main focus areas include cloud services, big data analytics, and digital business platforms. Welcome to the studio.
How are you, Marek?
Very good. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation. So we're here today to talk about your busy days and how you serve your customers and help them to solve all of the analytical problems.
Yeah, glad to do that.
So based on your experience, could you please share with us a typical challenges that you and your team face during the analytical project?
Yeah, problem in analytical project, right? So if the problem is the analytical process itself, right? So it can be categorized in three parts. Where one is the first one is that how you get the data, and the data itself is become of the source data has become very important on the analysis process, because the format of data can be structured, unstructured, right? Online, non-online, right? And also the volume of the data is very important. That's going to be a challenge. So when you need to determine at the first time how to get the data and how much is the volume, how you get it. And sometimes that the data is not ready. You need some sensor or help from the third party also to get the data. The second thing is the challenge is on the process itself, right? It's end up sometimes that the analysts need to pump up a lot of algorithm, change the different methods, and to also cater on many kind of parameters that might be also highly flexibly changed during the analytical process, right? And the third one is actually the output itself. An analyst maybe can only show a view, maybe about 3 to 4, 5, or maybe 6 parameter in one graph. But sometimes, yeah, absolutely no. Normally, an analyst will pumping a lot of graph in one dashboard. So at the end, yeah, need to determine which one is correct, which one is not correct. So which one is nice to have or not, right? And the most important thing is sometimes the output will become a decision maker or maybe a continuum process for another process, right? Some is normally nowadays that an analytical output from analysts will be continue to another process to maybe another system as a base of decision making sometimes. Those are the challenges, I think. Marek.
Yeah, great to hear. So obviously moving on in terms of time from on-premises, how you used to do those projects to the cloud these days, you see much improvements in terms of how to get started very fast in analytical projects?
Yeah, I think that's changed a lot. If normally that people that I think it depends on the sizes, right? Nowadays people can easily to deploy an analytic or maybe a data warehouse or data lake in the cloud, right? It doesn't have to be so troublesome that you need to establish a data center or maybe a bunch of the servers to collect that one. It's the old days, right? People used to be, when I want to do the analysis, I need to prep a lot of hardware or those things. Nowadays, now everything is very fast. You can pumping a data in the cloud. You can do analyze in the cloud. You can do algorithm in the cloud. And I think nowadays cloud even have a capability to run a process a huge amount of the data. It's not like that you need only a large server or data center to do that. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's nowadays, if talking analytics is become normal things for maybe far more easier than it used to be.
Yeah, great to hear you taking advantage of all of those new innovations. So obviously doing a project in analytics, solving customer problems, the importance is always initial stage on the data. How do you get it? How do you run it through? How do you push it through some quality engine? Tell us about the importance of the data from your point of view.
Yeah, the importance of the data is like we need to get the data. An analyst need to get a data, a right data, a valid data, right? Sometimes the data is not ready as you can do it, but yeah. And nowadays data become a commodity also very important, because without that you cannot help you cannot help to get the result, right? The right result. You need to, the data very important. When the right data will get the right direction and the good result. So in nowadays, so when you do an analytic project, that our question to the customer is always that what is the end result you want, right? So based on that end result, what kind of data you need? Is it how the source data drive it, right? Based on that one, is very, you can see that the source data is very important. If without that, the result is not there. Or what is you're hoping on the data? It's depend on your source of data. So very important. And some more people, sometimes our customer come to us that, hey sir, I have a lot of data. Could you help me how we monetize it? So then our question to our we reply to the customers that what kind of data do you have? So what do you think your data will be beneficial for others? You can monetize it when if you can put it in the kind of the service for others. Of course, obviously, for every decision maker, we need data, right? So I think data very important in analytic process. Without the correct data, your analytic is not going to be correct, right?
So
So
obviously,
yeah.
obviously, data is important in your view, as always. Tell us in terms of how much data is enough to get started, in terms of, you know, number of records, gigabytes of it. Do you really have to have terabytes, or you can get smaller set of data and get started?
Yeah, I think that's very, it depend on the time series, or maybe the how long is the data you're gonna to analyze, right? So if you want to see that I want to analyze the data for 1 week. So maybe obviously you need the 1 week data to determine, right? Sometimes people say I need 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, right? So it's, if that kind of information, or maybe you about 6 weeks, 1 month, then normally you can consume of data starting from, let's say, 10 gigabyte, maybe one till to 1 terabyte. So it depends on the how long is the data you want to analyze, and also it depends on how many factor or many data or maybe driver you want to do it. And if you're talking about large data, right, very large data, obviously I have a project in one of the telco industry, right? So they want to analyze of the customer behavior within 1 day, right? So within 1 day, they need to collect all the data. So at that project, I need to pump up the data almost 30 terabyte a day to get to customer behavior. So that's consume of a huge or resources, whether it's on cloud or we on premise, right? It's all the information that we need, right? So yeah, normally if you minimum size, I think is you can utilize whatever in the cloud to help you faster, quicker, right? To analyze. If you're going to very large analytics, so maybe you need still to do a hybrid cloud as a consideration to get the data.
Great.
Hope that helped. Right.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for this chat, and all the best in your projects and solving all of those analytical projects. So hoping we can see you again in another segment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marek. See you.